Hi everyone, welcome back, and we are here for 3AI U3 Summit, and I would like to introduce the speaker three of the day, the third speaker of the day. That's Kaushik Sanyal, Global Managing Director, Applied Intelligence at Accenture. Let me give a brief about Kaushik. Kaushik is the Global Managing Director of Applied Intelligence at Accenture and is a senior executive and an AI evangelist with more than 20 years of experience around business development, strategy, product management, and executing projects within large and complex organizations. Kaushik would be talking about the theme, which is one of the very, I would say, more talked about theme, but less explored, which is making of an AI-led enterprise. It's a 6 minute talk. Listen to Kaushik Sanya.
I think is a very important topic today, AI for enterprises. The reason we want to speak about it today is AI is becoming a buzzword that has reached the boardrooms and is getting implemented across organizations who are trying to differentiate themselves vis-a-vis their competitors. Now, how am I the right person to speak about it? I have about 20 years or more of experience around the AI space. Primarily, I have been responsible for deriving insights for the various AI applications that we have been doing for various organizations. What I have realized is that AI over the last 20 plus years that I have been involved in has evolved dramatically. And the evolution has come about specifically in the last few years. Now, when I started off, the AI industry was primarily restricted within probably two industries. It was the analog industries, which was looking at using RFM data, recency, frequency, and monetary data to derive ways to acquire new customers and cross sell and upsell. And it was then used by banks primarily for their risk and credit analysis. Over a period of time, many organizations and many industries started to adopt AI, and you started off the journey in areas like customer analytics, marketing analytics, supply chain analytics, and so on and so forth. And then various industry specific analytical applications came on to being. Now, most of these analytical applications over the last few years were, or primarily for most of this time, was primarily at the edge. People were doing POCs, they were doing some implementations, some of them were getting done, and lots of people were kind of limiting themselves to not taking them and applying it across the enterprise. What has changed now? And the primary reason for the change today is the fact that we now have cloud. With the application of cloud, we have the ability for us to put in lots of data fairly cheaply, get that data acquired from multiple different sources, put it in, apply the various analytical techniques, and the cloud enterprises are helping us in terms of going forward with those, applying those analytical techniques. The data management techniques have also become much more professional, and that is why AI applications are now starting to become an enterprise-wide solution. To say and quote of something that Julie Sweet, the CEO of Accenture, said recently, cloud has become the enabler, data has become the driver, and AI is the differentiator that organizations are using to differentiate themselves against the competition. Now, with this, the pandemic that had hit us over the last 2 years has suddenly accelerated the whole application. What we were thinking was going to be a 5 year, 7 year journey in terms of application of AI has suddenly now become a much faster adoption. What you have realized today is organizations are quickly, and the ones that are moving fast, are adopting AI applications, pulling in a lot of data, and going through the entire journey to differentiate themselves. Where have been the major areas of differences? The first thing is most industries now have a digital connotation. They have a way to digitally interact with their customers, with consumers directly. With that, customers are looking at ways when they are getting and acquiring these customers through these multiple channels to say, how do I apply a customer 360? Can I create a golden record? Can I figure out a way to manage the customer information, whichever areas or whichever areas they're coming from, and to target them, market to them, provide them effective customer service, do all of that. And customer 360 is becoming a major application that organizations are moving towards. The second thing that I'm seeing is the impact of supply chain. The pandemic has disrupted the supply chain, other additional world events have accelerated it, and supply chain is becoming an area where organizations are significantly moving towards to say, how can we apply it? How could it become a part and parcel of our daily conversations? And AI applications around supply chain is becoming an important factor to drive it. The other areas that are becoming, because of the availability of data that is coming in, is areas around IoT applications, network applications, applications using computer vision to do a lot of things around safety, audit, understanding how to kind of manage the entire manufacturing plant to by predictive maintenance. These are becoming much more widespread. Organizations are using that thing and really delivering value from it. And that's how AI for enterprises is becoming a much more widespread phenomenon today. And AI and ML have become a buzzword in the industry today. And hence, today, AI is becoming an interesting point in which to go out there and build a career and create differentiation, not only for yourself, but also for the businesses that you're working for. Thank
As you could relate, what Kaushik meant and rather alluded is absolutely very profound, which is AI is a differentiator. It's the secret sauce on which the new enterprises would ride the wave and gain what we call the moat or the North Star for their competitive advantage. Predominantly, Kaushik also brought together the whole amalgamation that AI alone is not enough. It's also about coming together of cloud and different exponential technologies and the whole enablement in terms of what organization needs to achieve. Thank you so much, Kaushik, for your time. Really appreciate.